everyone, welcome back to our channel Dentistry to the Point. This is Dr. Drumil Manik. So in the part 1 we discussed about the retention, that is the first objective of impression making. Now in the part 2 we are going to discuss about the stability, which is the second important factor in the objectives of impression making. In the part 1 of retention of objectives of impression making, we discussed that retention is going to provide psychological comfort, whereas stability is going to provide us or the patient the physiological comfort, right? And lastly, support was providing us longevity of the prosthesis. If you guys have not watched that video, then I would suggest that start with the part 1 of the objectives of impression making and then move on to the part 2. So starting with stability, so the complete denture stability is the resistance offered by what? Resistance offered by a complete denture to horizontal or rotational forces. जो भी resistance एक complete denture show करेगा against any horizontal or rotational forces, that is termed as stability. Now what is difference between retention as well as stability, right? So the main difference between retention and stability is retention is resistance to forces acting in mainly in vertical direction, right? Whereas stability is resistance to forces acting in horizontal or forces that are of rotational type. Okay, so this is the main difference. The forces which are acting on stability are of horizontal or rotational type, whereas those acting on retention are of vertical type towards the direction of path of insertion, right? Path of insertion. So it differs from retention in that stability resists the forces in horizontal plane, whereas retention is the resistance to vertical dislodging forces. Now next is the lack of stability often makes ineffective the factors involved in retention as well as support. What are all the factors involved in retention as well as support of the complete denture prosthesis are going to get compromised if the stability is compromised, right? So how is this stability going to affect? For example, the denture that shift easily, the denture which is not stable on the residual alveolar ridge or the supporting structure, it is going to shift very easily in response to any lateral forces. If this kind of lateral forces are going to act onto the denture, then it are going to easily shift the denture in horizontal direction, right? So this shift of denture can cause disruption in the border seal. Whatever the peripheral seal which we discussed in the part 1, that is in the retention of the complete denture, that peripheral seal is going to get disrupted and prevent the denture base from correctly relating to the supporting tissue. So if the denture is not stable enough, there will be loss of what? Peripheral seal again and again, which will not let the denture to seat correctly according to its supporting tissues. I hope so this much is clear. Next, what are the factors that are going to affect the stability of the denture base? So the factors that are going to affect the stability are 6 mainly. First is vertical height of the residual ridge. Second is quality of soft tissue covering the residual ridge, then quality of impression, occlusal plane, arrangement of teeth, and contour of polished surfaces of the denture. Polished surface is also known as cameo. The impression surface is known as intaglio. Okay, so these are the 6 factors which are going to affect the stability of the denture base, that is vertical height, quality of soft tissue, quality of impression, occlusal plane, teeth arrangement, and contour of the polished surfaces. We'll study all the factors one by one. So now I can club this all these 6 factors into 3 main headings, right? So the 3 main headings would be: first, the relation of denture base to the supporting tissues. This is the denture base. So the relation of this denture base to the supporting tissues, right? So first heading will be relation of your denture base to the supporting tissues. Second will be relation of external or boundary. These are your external surfaces of the denture. So relation of your external surfaces of denture or boundary of denture to the oral musculature or the surrounding tissues. So second is relation of external surface of denture or boundaries with the surrounding supporting tissues. And third will be relation of the occlusal surfaces of maxillary as well as mandibular dentures. Relation between the occlusal surfaces of maxillary as well as mandibular dentures. So these are the three main headings in which I can categorize this all 6 factors, right? Vertical height, quality of soft tissue, quality of impression, occlusal plane, teeth arrangement and contour of polished surfaces. Now next, moving on to our first factor, that is height of the residual alveolar ridge or vertical height of the residual alveolar ridge. So in this you can see 3 diagrams. All the 3 are having 3 different heights of residual alveolar ridge, right? So the height of what? Residual alveolar ridge, R stands for residual alveolar ridge, is directly proportional to stability of your complete denture, right? How is this directly proportional? So if the height of your residual alveolar ridge is more, it is more capable in resisting the horizontal forces, which will result in more stability of denture. So height of your residual alveolar ridge is going to be directly proportional to your stability. So as the height goes on decreasing, the stability is also going to decrease. Okay, is this clear? Next, apart from that, there are different forms of ridge like square or broad ridges, right? Square or broad ridges are more capable in resisting the horizontal forces. Horizontal forces are well tolerated in square and also to some extent in tapered ridges. But whereas when we talk about ovoid form of ridge, so these ovoid ridges are not as much as capable in resisting horizontal as well as rotational forces. So the ovoid ridges are more susceptible to shift against any rotational force, right? So square and broad ridges offer a greater resistance to lateral forces than do small narrow or tapered ridges. And lastly, the ovoid ridges are going to be susceptible to shift against the rotational forces. Along with that, in these 3 diagrams you can see that there are several elevations and depressions in the whole area of the residual alveolar ridge, right? There are always some elevations and depressions but apart from that, there are also some type of elevations which are known as sharp bony spicules, right? So these sharp bony spicules that is mainly seen post extraction can impinge in the supporting tissues, right? So this impingement can cause pain and soreness or discomfort. So due to this, it is necessary or it is mandatory to round off this sharp bony margins, right? So but over contouring of the ridge in these conditions, when you over contour the ridge what is going to happen? The ridge is going to become more flatter. There are not going to be any elevations and depression which will compromise or decrease your stability. So the point of saying this is, there are some elevations and depressions which are also going to favor in providing stability to your complete denture, but some elevations or depressions which are like sharp bony spicule should be eliminated, but there should not be thorough elimination of elevations and depressions which will lead to flat or residual ridge, decreasing the stability of your denture, right? Apart from that, you have various forms of hard palate. One is a deep palatal vault, you have shallow, and you have moderate palatal vaults also, right? So deep, moderate as well as shallow. You guys can see that the deep palatal vault has more vertical height of the ridge, so the lateral forces are going to be tolerated well in the deep palatal vaults cases, right? So the posterior lateral slopes are going to be deep, so horizontal forces are resisted more better. So I'll write over here, horizontal forces tolerated more efficiently. But as the slopes are going to decrease, again the stability is going to also decrease. So decrease in the slopes or change in the shape of the palatal vault, as it becomes shallower, the stability also is going to decrease. I hope you guys have understood how does palatal vault affect the stability of the denture. Deeper is the palatal vault, more horizontal forces are tolerated efficiently, which is going to provide you more stability. As the palatal vault or the slopes are going to decrease, the stability is also going to decrease, right? Over here it is going to decrease. So this was about the vertical height. First we saw the height, which is directly proportional to stability. As the height is more, stability is more, height is less, stability is less. Then we saw various forms of ridge which are again going to affect the stability of your denture. We saw some irregular abnormalities on the denture bearing area which are also favorable in providing stability until and unless it is not any sharp bony spicule or margin which can impinge the supporting structures, right? Next, the palatal vaults. The deeper the palatal vaults, more the horizontal forces are tolerated efficiently, which are going to increase the stability of your denture. But if this palatal vaults become shallower, the stability is also going to decrease.